was up in the ring, called him out?
Yeah, you know, whatever Garcia decides to do next, I'm sure people are going to be excited to see it. You know, obviously everybody wants to see the welterweights get in there with each other and bang it out, and I'm sure that's going to happen. You know, Sean Porter was in here calling out Thurman and Garcia. You know, he wants to get in there with these guys. These guys obviously want to get in there and with each other. Spence, I'm sure if he was here, would have been also among the ruckus. You know, these are the top welterweights in the world, and you know, people want to see them fight. So we'll see how it plays out.
Real quick before you, I just want to get one last question in, just to change subjects, because I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions for him. George Groves, Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at that outcome?
No, I mean I wasn't surprised. I thought I was edging towards Groves, but I was a little disappointed in the fact that Eubank didn't really have a game plan, or he got a little, he went for broke a little too soon, in my opinion. You know, like he started getting a little desperate from like round 3 on. You know, and there's still a lot of time till you could go without getting desperate. He didn't really jab his way in, and you know, just didn't cut the ring off. He's got a lot of determination and heart, but he just has to have it more polished. You know, that he's got a ton of character. He's got more character than a lot of fighters who are at a higher level than him. He's got a ton of character. So when a guy has that much character, you know, you can mold him if you teach him right. You know, and I think if somebody gets in there with him and works with him and works on things like cutting off the ring or jabbing his way in, because he's too hook happy sometimes. You know, and a guy as crafty as George Groves, you're not just gonna hit him with anything you want. You better set that guy up. You know, when Froch knocked him out, you know, he was setting him up. You know, and you know, he's not gonna give you the freebie. And not only if you try to take the freebie, he'll actually make you pay for it. So, you know, Groves is that good. So it was disappointing, not as far as the performance Eubank gave, because Eubank gave an honorable performance and he gave a lot of heart. It's just disappointing in that it's a shame to see a kid with that much determination and not be polished the way he could be. I think he's got a lot of potential to get better, and I think hopefully he does. You know.
Paulie, what did you make of Garcia Rios?
I thought it was a good stoppage. You know, I didn't think I didn't have a problem with the stoppage. I thought Brandon was game. I thought Danny was winning, but I thought Brandon was game, and he wasn't you know, he wasn't making a fool out of himself or anything like that. He belonged in there and he was game, but the stoppage, you know, he got hit with that shot and the stoppage had to be made. Okay,
Sean got in the ring. What did you make of that confrontation?
You know, Sean's just you know, being a guy that wants to get a fight, so he's doing what he has to do. You know, that's what boxers do. They call each other out, right? So I don't have a problem when I see fighters doing that. I think it happens all the time, and we'll see what happens.
Who wins if they fight?
It's a good fight. You know. Honestly, who's having a better night, who's executing certain things better. You know, Sean is an overwhelming kind of guy. Danny, obviously, as we saw tonight, is a guy who likes to take his time, but you know, he knows how to take away the spaces from you. As we saw with Rios bringing the pressure, he took away the spaces from him and then creates his own little moments for counter-punching opportunities. So, you know, it will be a good fight.
Based on what you saw from Danny tonight, did you see big improvements from the Thurman fight?
I see Danny doing what Danny does. You know, Danny is what Danny is, and it'd be really, really a disservice to him to consider him less than stellar and less than elite, because when you look at Danny, he doesn't jump out at you with like this crazy speed or this dazzling kind of a look. You know, he looks kind of plain to you, but then when you start to get through the layers, you realize there's a lot of layers to this guy. You know, he's got a lot of character. He's got a lot of balls. He sits in the pocket when he has to, and then he'll take it. He'll allow you to commit to the shot, and he won't give ground. You know how hard that is to do, to not give ground when somebody commits to the shot, only because he wants to catch you clean with that counter punch. You know, and he's got an innate ability to catch you with sharp counters and hard counters when he puts the weight on him. And the reason he's able to get so much weight on those counters is because he's got the balls to hold his ground when you are fully committing. And as your instinct, I'm telling you, anybody throws anything at you, your instinct is to give ground. Even as a boxer, sometimes you can take a half a step or just you know, when you don't want to take a step, but your instinct will be to pull away, and you don't get as much weight on the counter even if you land the counter. Danny has an insane amount of mental strength. That's his best quality, because he makes it work for him time and again. And he's knocked out guys with it. He's knocked out Morales with it. He's knocked out Khan with it. He knocked out Brandon Rios tonight. You know, he keeps you honest with it. You know, I thought he kept Thurman honest in the fight they've had because of things like that. You know, even though he lost the fight, he kept Thurman honest. You know, he's a good fighter. You know, and sometimes guys don't necessarily jump out at you, and you don't appreciate them. But you know, there's layers to the guy, and he's at an elite level for a reason.
Why does Danny seem to struggle a little more than people are expecting him to in these kind of fights like Herrera and Rios now?
I don't think he struggled tonight. I thought Brandon was game, but I don't think the fight was ever in jeopardy for Danny. I thought Danny was doing what he wanted to do. I thought Brandon was game and he was pushing the pace, but Danny was doing a very good job of taking away space from him when he ran out of room. He was picking up his feet and forcing Brandon to pick up his feet, and then when he shoots some short counters, and when he picked up his feet and Brandon wouldn't get out of position, he just smothered him. And the smother, what happens? He forces a break, and you're back in the middle of the ring, and Brandon has to start all over again, chase you down and corner you. So I thought he executed a fine game plan, and I thought he was doing well. I don't think he was struggling at all. I thought he was actually doing a good job of slowing down the tempo, because Brandon wants to make you uncomfortable, and Brandon thrives off of making you and driving you crazy with that pressure, and then that pressure, when she drives you crazy, you start to make mistakes, and he'll get to your body and he'll hit you with those uppercuts and whatnot. But I thought Danny did a really good job. I thought Brandon did a good job of doing that, but I thought Danny did a good job of nullifying that as well, and he got sharper and sharper with the right hands, he got sharper and sharper with the counters. Herrera's a different style, however. Herrera's a boxer mover. Danny's a little slow on his feet sometimes. So that kind of style, I think, will always trouble Danny. That's his style, is making fights.
And Rios has been stopped now in 2 out of his last 3 fights. Where does he go from there?
I don't know. I don't think he did himself a disservice tonight. But of course, I don't know if he can fight a top welterweight right now. I think.
Settle the Victor Ortiz grudge match, maybe?
Maybe the Victor Ortiz grudge match is. I heard Victor got a draw tonight, but everybody was saying he actually lost.
Yeah.
But then again, that's like get back for the Lamont Peterson fight, right? Because I thought he won the Lamont Peterson, but I thought he won the Lamont Peterson fight, but they didn't give it to him. They gave him a draw. So I guess kind of evens that part out. I don't know. I wasn't thinking maybe Rios who he could fight, because you got to kind of take a lower level fight, but you don't want to just take a nothing fight either. Maybe like that guy Kavaliuskis yesterday, who won yesterday. He's probably looking for guys like that to build on his name on and see how see what Rios has left against a guy like that. It'd be interesting. And I don't think you can put Brandon coming off a knockout loss in with like a Spence or anybody. I don't think that's right. That's the right thing to do. But maybe with a guy like Kavaliuskis.
Is Thurman 2 steps ahead of the pace in terms of, because he just beat Danny Garcia, and 2 years ago he beat Porter. Do you think that, or you think it's a 1-round difference between the two, or Keith Thurman is just 2 steps ahead of the pack?
I don't know if he's 2 steps ahead of the pack, but Thurman is the elite guy right now, and Spence is too. Spence just has to get the names in there. But I think Spence is certainly a very scary guy, and he's top notch. Thurman has the body of work, and Thurman has done the job, and he's undefeated. So yeah, I don't see why you can't call him the best at this moment. Honestly, I've been saying, I don't know why people would want to see Thurman and Spence right now. Wouldn't you want Thurman to be at his most healthy and his most sharp? I don't know why you would want the guy to fight Spence off a 1-year layoff, and then off of surgery, and then even off after 1 comeback fight. I don't know why you want that kind of rust to go into a fight against Errol Spence. I think you'd want the best Keith Thurman possible and the best Errol Spence possible. You might only get that fight once. Wouldn't you want it to be like when they're at their most ready and at their best? Why would you want to rush that fight? I don't really understand, even from a fan's perspective, when Keith says, okay, I want to take this first and do this first. I don't have a problem with that, because I want to see them both fight at their best, because I want to really know who's better. I don't want to think about, oh, well, maybe if Keith didn't have that layoff, maybe if Keith didn't have that surgery or whatnot. I want to actually see them in there at their best, and then I want to see a great fight. And I think it is a great fight when they're at their best.
Can you give us your hypothetical 147 calendar? Since you said you don't want to see, how would you like this to play out?
I like to see Thurman and Spence, but I don't think it happens until 2019. I don't think it happens until 2019.
Would you like to see, should Danny Garcia fight Sean Porter next, or should they?
It's obviously one of the positions that you can take. The welterweight division has a lot of options. So I think that's one of the many options you have. There's a lot of names out there. There's a lot of good fighters. I think you can mix and match the puzzle pieces, and it'll be fun regardless.
That's not a weird question, because he hasn't fought at 47 yet, but do you think the skills that Terrence has shown is at the same level or above Thurman, Garcia?
Skill-wise, Terrence has some of the best skills in the world, pound for pound, but they make weight classes for a reason, and I still have my doubts as to how he's going to handle the physicality of the welterweight division. His skills speak for themselves, they're second to none. And I think he'll do well at welterweight, but I think the extra physical welterweights, the ones that are natural welters, not the physical welterweights that are maybe extra the lightweights. I'm talking about the physical welterweights that have been welterweights the whole time, and they're physical. So that way they naturally have the size on you, and they fight in a physical manner.
Jeff Horn?
Like Jeff Horn. Like Jeff Horn, exactly. And Spence, and obviously Thurman are also big natural welters. But even Jeff Horn, people sleeping on this fight. Jeff Horn is. I think Jeff Horn is going to give Crawford a lot of trouble. I think it's a good fight, but I think
Just because of the size.
Huh?
For the size.
Because of the size,
and he's kind of dirty.
Because he uses the size. Yeah, and he's dirty. You know. You can't just complain about a guy being dirty sometimes, and then when you like the guy, you don't complain about being dirty. Everybody's dirty in there, man. It's just a matter of what they get away with. You know what I'm saying? There's no clean fighters there. I'm sorry to tell you, it's a fight. But you know, I think it's because he's a natural welter and he uses that natural size. He uses that physicality. So you know, I think guys like Horn, guys like Porter, guys like Spencer, guys like Thurman would really give Crawford a lot of trouble. You know, because then you're not just using the skills. You got to get these guys off of you, and then they're laying all over you, and they're banging you around, and you just don't have the physical strength to get them off. It's no longer skills anymore. You know. So it's a different kind of fight.
Talk to a little bit about that. You know that personally because you moved up to welterweight.
Yeah.
How much did that tax you in your personal experience?
Yeah, it's a lot. Very difficult. Very difficult. You know, when I felt like I was physically very strong at super lightweight. Even if I wasn't punching power strong, I thought at super lightweight I would get in clinches and I felt very strong. I felt like I could push you back and move guys back. Even when I fought Cotto at super lightweight, I felt like I was moving him around in the clinches and whatnot. You know. So I found myself at welterweight though. I couldn't move anybody. Legitimately, I couldn't push anybody back. I felt their strength in the punches, you know. So that size matters a lot, man. If it doesn't matter, something fishy is going on. I promise you.
Can you, Joseph? I interviewed Joseph Parker for the first time today. How do you think Joseph Parker's skill set versus Anthony? Not who wins, but just his skill set.
Skill set is great. I mean, I think Parker has a great skill set. You know, he's nimble and he's a heavyweight and he can punch a combination. He's got a good right hand. I don't think you can doubt Joseph Parker's skills. I think he's a good fighter and he's a WBO heavyweight champion for a reason. And I think he belongs in this fight. Let's see how it plays out.
My last question. I know you're probably tired. Been talking all night. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. Is that a competitive fight, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to end in a knockout, but it doesn't mean it's not competitive. I mean, I think there's a lot of things to think about in that fight. You know, Deontay has a great jab and a great right hand. People talk about him being wild, but I don't think he gets wild unless, you know, he has you hurt, or unless you can put him out of position, which I think Ortiz can put him out of position at times. I don't think Ortiz is just a guy with power. I think Ortiz has that Cuban boxing school, and I think he can put you out of position and trap you and whatnot. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting chess match. Deontay has that terrific jab, and I want to see if he's able to use it against the southpaw and the southpaw stance. You know,
Paulie, how many people in boxing would have gotten up after that hit from Danny? Because Brandon got up, nobody thought he was going to get up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a good shot. You know, that was a good shot. And Danny showed that he's got two-fisted power. Because usually it's the left hook he's knocking you out with, you know. But again, it's the timing. I don't even think it's, if Danny just hits you and it's not on the counter like that, I'm telling you, it's not as strong as some other guys. Danny's got very good power. It's not the most power, but it's very good power. But his sense of timing, his ability to time you and catch you with a shot that you don't expect over the top of yours or underneath yours or whatnot, that hurts you so much more because he's got good enough power. And then on top of that, he's timing it with a shot you don't see coming or recognize coming. Brandon brought back that jab very lazily, and he brought the right hand over the top. But you could see that was happening, but Brandon was taking it well. Brandon got hit with a few counter right hands, and he was getting hit with more and more counter right hands as the fight went on. It's like almost like he didn't respect it, he didn't care, you know. And so it looks like a one-punch knockout, and it was a one-punch knockout. But for me, it was actually accumulation of shots.
7-round knockout.
Yeah, I think the several counter right hands that Danny had landed over the course of the fight, that, and you know, they moistened Brandon up a little bit so that when he got hit with that counter right hand, it knocked him out. I don't think a fresh Brandon Rios gets knocked out with that counter right hand. And that's a good counter right hand. That's a hard counter right hand. But Brandon's got a good chin. Brandon has a lot of balls.
And to end this interview, David Benavidez, just 21 years old, 21 in 2 months. How bright is this kid's future?
Very bright. You know, he's a very versatile fighter. He's a very versatile fighter with a lot of dimensions to him. I can't believe he's only got 10 amateur fights. I mean, this kid was sparring everybody in the gym. I sparred him. I sparred him.
Where did you spar him?
Back in my wild card days. You know, he was like 15.
At 15, he was sparring Kelly Powell, like Triple G. He was sparring all these big guys. I remember him.
I'm telling you. You know,
how was he at 15? Could he crack?
Yeah, no, he was a kid, but no, he was good. He and his brother were always good fighters. You know, like they're a good boxing family. You know, but I don't understand how he only had 10 amateur fights. Like the kid could always fight. You know, it's almost like
He turned pro very early too. And
yeah, but you wonder, like, did he really want to fight? At that point, you like wonder, why does this kid not fight more? Like, he can fight, you know. And now he turned pro, and he was just honing himself for a pro career because he looks like he's been doing it for 100 years. I mean, he's so
special.
calm.
He's
but it's so
special.
calm. It's forget about being good. He's so calm and right in the fire. Like, you're putting him right in the fire, and he's just like. And he's reacting. He's not just defensive. He's just like boom, boom, boom. You know, he's just so calm and so fluid. And I think he's only going to get better and better if he keeps his head on straight. You know, like and he looks like one of those kids that wants to be great. He doesn't just want to be famous. You know, a lot of these young guys, they win titles, they want to be famous, and they start going off. The wheels start falling off the wagon. I think David wants to be great first, and so I look forward to seeing him again. Hopefully he gets enough rest with those hands, because I went through those hand problems early in my career. If you don't take care of them, they can drag you down, you know. So looking at his hands after that fight, hopefully he takes a nice long layoff. One thing you don't understand when you're young is you have time. Right? You have to be patient. You don't always understand that at that age. Hopefully he takes his time coming back, because you know, just because you don't break your hands, even if you have some badly bruised or whatnot, those things are deep contusions, and you fight too soon, and you'll have to deal with that all over again, and then it'll take longer to heal. So hopefully he heals up fast, you know, in a fast enough time, but he takes enough time to get back to 100% with those hands.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Paulie.
you. Thank you.
See you soon.
Appreciate you giving us 20 minutes after you done did 2 hours of commentating.
It's all good.
Appreciate you, King. Yep.